Hello and welcome to another episode of DC Alliance, Chapter 48, and I am your host, Travis. And before I get into all the network plugs, the nitty-gritty, the news, all that stuff, a couple of announcements here for DC Alliance. First off, a special thanks to Travis Snell and Taylor for covering last week for DC Alliance. Finals went really well for me. I was super happy. It was a fun episode, a late episode, but I finished studying and got to catch the first 40 minutes, and I caught the rest on the podcast. So thanks, boys, for covering for us. It was certainly a special kind of episode. So yeah, thank you for that. And the bigger news, I don't think you guys is any secret that you guys have noticed that Greg hasn't been here. He's had some things outside of the podcast world take his time, and so I was covering for him, getting guest hosts. A couple weeks ago, he came to me and said that he needed to step away for like the foreseeable future, and if I could get another host for the show. So that began the little search for a co-host. But before that, I want to thank Greg so much. This show doesn't happen without him. I don't think the network happens without him in general. Him and Travis Snell have been so key. They were so key to getting it off the ground. I am definitely not a part of this network without Greg. So big thanks to you, Greg, for that. Thanks for so many episodes, DC Alliance, so much fun. And also with that, Greg will be taking a step back from superhero discussions as well. I will be bringing in some guest hosts to finish off the Batman the Animated Series run, and then I will decide what to do going forward, whether to get another co-host or probably just do one-off episodes covering shows. I don't know. I don't want to let that die. It's my little baby, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. But I'm going to cover you for your Batman the Animated Series before then. But besides all that, also, again, big thanks to Greg. He has a spot here anytime to come join us to talk anything DC, but I need to find a co-host. And with me permanently from now on in the other chair, want to thank Clay from Ranger Alliance. Clay, you're in?
Yes, I'm
you're
in.
Here. The power of adding and removing from the stream. Clay is now full-time co-host of DC Alliance. Clay, tell listeners about yourself if they didn't catch you on either your podcast or the guest hosting appearances here.
Yeah, as everybody knows, I have a plethora of shows. I love podcasting. I joined the podcasting world, I would want to say, back in 2016, 2017, really was when my own show kind of took heed, and it's been fun ever since. The presence of audio is something that has just been a really big influence over the past few years, so much so that I'm going to school for it now. I'm going to be an audio engineer. My big hopes and dreams with that is to make audio dramas of some of my favorite characters and hopefully, pitch it to something like a DC or Marvel or Image Comics or, any kind of indie stuff. So I have some plans for some stuff in the future once I start learning a little bit more on how to do that professionally, because I can do it now. Like right now, if you go to the old feed of Fanboy Comics Podcast, you can find a 3-minute audio drama that I did of Kyle Higgins' New 52 Nightwing, issue number 1.
Ooh.
Yeah. I started at 10:30 at night one day, and I was just like, let's see if I can do this. And then when I finished, where I wanted to stop, I didn't do the entire issue. I only did the first 10 pages or whatever. By the time I was finished with it, I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, the sun is coming up. Cool. I'm going to go to bed now. But it just felt so seemingly fluid with how time just passed. And it was something that I genuinely enjoy. But because of that, I'm going to go ahead and name all the shows that I'm a part of now. So starting with Mondays. So if anybody hasn't noticed, recently I have been on the World's Finest True Believers podcast for the Creator Spotlight. now twice, once being for Joe Henderson, and another just dropped today for Matthew Groom for his new Kickstarter, Inferno Girl Red. Go check that out. At the time we are live here, there's 9 days left on that Kickstarter. When this is live as a podcast, there's going to be 8 days left. Go check it out. It's going to be an amazing book. The book won't come out for about another year, but there's a bunch of updates that we are really, really looking forward to. So there's that. Of course, now I'm going to be a part of DC Alliance on Mondays, going live as podcast on Tuesdays. I also have the Comic Book Legion podcast with my buddy Mark. And then also I have the Weird Science Marvel podcast, as well as I just joined the Weird Science DC podcast as well. So I'm already at 4. Then there is the Ranger Alliance podcast that I'm here on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. And then, of course, Batman News Weekly. So I am at 6 shows. I almost have 1 show for every day of the week. So...
Wow. You've told me about them all, but when you string them all in one sentence, it's
a mouthful. I have to take a deep breath every single time I name them all. So if I bring my old podcast back, then I will have 7 shows. And right now I just cannot do it.
Kind of got to agree with Mr. Snell there.
Everybody says it, but honestly, like it's like I said, it's a fun thing that I really enjoy doing. But there are days I have to constantly have a alarm on my reminders on my phone to be like, hey, make sure you do this for tomorrow. Hey, you do this for next week. Hey, do this for like the next few hours. And it's always being reminded. So that way the week looks seamlessly, but it's just hectic. And it's like a tornado crash, like in my brain every single day.
That's pretty much like it is for me. Well, we're the 2 students of the network right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how my brain feels. Although I'm on a pretty sweet hiatus now for another over 10 days. So just going to drink it in.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I can't lie. I read 6 volumes of Invincible yesterday.
Oh yeah, that does remind me. I actually just got the 4 ultimate collections of Invincible, the first 4 trades. It has about 20 plus pages of extra content in the very back, including scripts. Absolutely amazing. I got it from Organic Price Books.
Ooh.
Yeah, the one that our buddy Chris has been pimping out over at the Marvel Alliance. So guys, check out that website. They are immaculate. They're actually based here in Texas, so I was able to get them pretty quickly once they were orderable and being able to ship to me. So really, really awesome.
I gonna have to. My plan's to get the Clone Wars omnibus, so I'm gonna jump on that soon. Using
very nice.
Using the code that Chris provided. Thanks again, Mr. Snell. We're excited too, and I'm excited because I think is for Clay's initiation here, even though he's guest host multiple times. Give us the network plug, Clay.
Yeah,
to get started on the show.
I will admit I cheat a little bit on my own show, just because recently, and it hasn't always been like this, but recently we were able to put the actual link to everything in our show notes. But we have a show for every single day of the week, including multiple shows, because we have a lot of shows that are either bi-weekly or just shows that end up being on the exact same day. So starting off on Mondays, we have the World's Finest True Believers podcast with Chris Bauga. Really great. Like I said, this week was actually a creator spotlight with Matthew Groom. So go check that out. He's written a bunch of comics. He has a Image comic that he self-published called Self-Made. At Marvel, he has done a bunch of Ultraman stuff. At DC, he did the Dark Knights, he did the Dark Knights Metal, the Judas Contract. It's like an Elseworld story.
Yeah.
And then he also did The Crimes of Passion, which was a Valentine's Day book. So go check that out. We had a lot of fun. I geeked out over Power Rangers with him for a short while. Really, really great guy. And then on Tuesdays, we have our show that drops. Technically, of course, today's Monday. We go live on Mondays. But the show does drop on Tuesdays live for Marvel Alliance on Tuesdays, which will drop on Wednesdays. On Wednesday... Oh gosh, I'm gonna. Did I trip?
No, you got it with Marvel. Keep going. Go through it.
Yeah. Wednesday is Marvel. Thursday is the slice of film, the Marvel or the Ranger Alliance and the Star Wars Alliance. See, it's been a while. I've been cheating a whole bunch on my own show. I need to remind myself here.
I told you that river because all I said was get Clay to do the network plug, but I didn't say what it was.
And then on Fridays, we have the superhero discussions with Hines here, where he talks all about the animated movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. Recently, we did which number episodes were they?
66 to 68, I think.
Yeah, 66 to 68. That was a very good discussion. One really great episode. The other two were but they were still good. We still enjoyed them.
Glad you got one good episode is okay. When it's rough when it's three slacks.
And then, of course, on the weekends, we do have Jim from the Weird Science podcast coming over here to do the spotlights for DC and Marvel comics.
Those are great. I love them. Probably the most, just for give me a quick run of what's going on, because I'm not current right now, but it's a good, what should I read, what shouldn't, what I should avoid, what shouldn't I?
Yeah, Jim is very good with the spotlights here at the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. He's very good about, hey, let's stay positive. Let's talk about the books that are good and not wanting to waste anybody's time with just complaining about books, because we do enough of that over at the Weird Science, Marvel, and DC podcast.
And we have a Patreon.
Yes, we do have a Patreon. Patreon has two tiers. $1 tier can just support the network. $5 tier will give you extra access to all of our either early content or Patreon exclusive stuff. We have been doing Patreon exclusives over at the Ranger Alliance. Me, Hines, and Joe have done the Ronin comic book. Hopefully, we should be getting issue 3 pretty soon. And I know that the early access to some of the movie reviews has been going up on Patreon as well. We should have the Mortal Kombat one scheduled for pretty soon. I think it's next Saturday. We're going to be recording that one, and then it'll go live on Patreon probably soon after that. That one's going to be an interesting one. I've been very vocal on how I feel about that.
I think we're both in the same camp.
I'm going to be watching it again because a lot of people think that just because I have an opinion on this movie means that I hate it. Not necessarily, but I do have things to say about it.
Clay, I think we're in kind of the same camp on that. And I don't know, I work Saturdays. I was talking to Katie. I'm going to try to get away early, but if I get another call, there's no way I can't not go back. But with that movie, I read something today that was like, this is the prequel, we'll say, because I have a really big issue with that movie. Spoilers for anybody, just skip ahead 45 seconds. There's no tournament. So that's a huge issue for me. Something I really can't wrap my head around. Like, I'm not going to lie, Clay, 5 times I paused the movie being like, okay, so there's 55 minutes. So we got to get the tournament in the next spot. Wait, there's 30 minutes left, no tournament. 20 minutes, so it's going to be a little tournament, right? Okay, so there's no tournament. So that's kind of how it was.
Yeah, it's very odd just because, like, I will be completely honest with the fact that, like, anime has become really, really, really popular to the general audience and whatnot recently. They're all about tournaments. You should really just take the aesthetic of an anime, put it into a Mortal Kombat movie, and boom, you're good to go. But unfortunately, they didn't, and we will have more to talk about on Saturday. Yes. But we do have some news, not a whole lot when it comes to DC news. We're in one of those pockets that are just kind of, we're getting news, but just not enough to really be like ecstatic about things, Like, for one, I will say, like you said, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Travis and Taylor for covering last week. Really good job, guys. I will say, Taylor, if you say John Cena should be Bane again, I'm banning you from this podcast. I'm sorry. I actually sent him I made a PDF of John Cena with the Bane mask on. It looks absolutely hilarious. I need to send it to you guys. But yeah, no, I love John Cena and the stuff that he has been in, but you cannot take that. You can't make a white man Bane. I'm sorry, not again. Not
again,
doing
no.
this again. We need comic book accurate Bane. So I want to say thank you to those guys. But we did hear a lot of stuff a little bit before that podcast came about. We have Hawk Girl rumors. We have Doom Patrol news. We have Aquaman 2 stuff. And of course, stuff going on with The Flash. But that's pretty much it. Where do you want to start with?
I think we should start with the Doom Patrol, a little bit of Doom Patrol news, because for one, even though, this is the difference in quality, in my opinion, with The Flash and Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol closed out their season. They had to lose an episode, and they still did a very, very great job. So it's not just the hand you're dealt. You can still work with it if the writing is good and you know what you're doing. So I really enjoyed Doom Patrol. I can't wait for season 3.
Now, the only problem that I have with them losing an episode, they're basically going to become Titan season 2.
It all depends on how they handle that, right?
I feel like they're going to put that last episode in the very beginning of this season. So, like, the cliffhanger is going to be resolved like immediately next week, because that'll be the official start of season 3. And I mean, I guess this is something that we should just get used to in the now HBO Max DC universe. Like, hopefully that doesn't become a thing with something like the Green Lantern show or the Zatanna series, or I can't remember if that's a series or a movie. But
I still think they're up in the air on that.
Just projects in the future, because I want a legitimate ending for some of these shows, so that way they can start fresh for a new season. I understand that, like, there's some shows that happened all the time in Arrow. There would be a cliffhanger for the most famous one. Well, no, I think that was it that mid-season? Mid-season was the Roz fight.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's the most famous one for Arrow. It still was amazing, though. We had to wait freaking 4 or 5 months to freaking find out like what the hell happened. But still, there needs to be a solidified ending. Now, this is totally not their fault. We completely understand that COVID got in the way of things. So I'm still excited. Doom Patrol is still top tier freaking DC content on HBO Max. It really is. So if they can pull it off and make it feel genuine for the next season, I'm good.
Same. Truth that'll be covered on Slice of Film podcast. It'll be out sometime in the next week or two, but I'm in agreement with your thoughts. Well, not quite. Not quite. I kind of, there's some stuff I like about it, but we'll get into that at another time. And Chris also wanted to say congratulations to your way there, Clay.
Yes, thank you for everybody congratulating me. This is something that we have been kind of thinking about, and it's, DC is always my number one when it comes to the battle between the big two. DC, I grew up a DC kid, so it's something that I really wanted to do. Every single time you guys invited me over to be a guest, I was more than willing to jump on. So it just felt right.
I couldn't be more happy to have you. We don't have sorry, I'm there answering the YouTube thing before I bring it up. Classic me there. No, we don't. I don't think we have a date yet. And the thing I want to say about Doom Patrol that for me is that's what I wish Legends like. This is like Legends isn't zany to me anymore after watching Doom Patrol. It kind of loses its zaniness, but at the whole DCCW as a whole, it kind of. I know you want to talk about that. We're going to move forward. So yeah,
so it says here. I'm looking at a article right now. It says Doom Patrol season 3 release date has not been confirmed yet by the creators. With its unfortunate news comes a happy one that might help us predict when the outing is supposed to come out. It says early 20. Well, it says here expect to drop early 2022.
I don't think it's going to drop until after Titans. Because Titans is well underway, if not finished filming. So I don't see that happening anytime soon. But Doom Patrol did cast 2 actors to play the Dead Boy detectives, 2 undead boys who investigate mysteries. They come from Neil Gaiman's Sandman, Clay, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Do you know more about them? Because I am completely.
I am familiar with the names. I am not familiar with the work. I know Chris is going to be like just screaming at me, but it's one thing for me personally is I got really into Sandman with the audio drama. Sandman has always been on my radar, especially with Neil Gaiman being such a awesome writer that he is. I am looking to wait for the Comixology sales on them again. They were pretty cheap last time the audio drama came out. I was just unable to grab them at the moment. So I am waiting for those volumes to go back on sale. I'm purely a digital person now. As when it comes to convenience, I do have physical copies that I try to get as often as possible.
Yeah, same. I don't even think I need to tell you about my exploits in the comic hunting lately.
Yeah, no, it's really fun to see the stuff that you're able to find. Travis here, he every so once in a while he'll go to, I forgot where you go to.
Dollar store, basically.
The dollar store, which is crazy. He goes to the dollar store, he finds amazing priced freaking trades, and you're able to pick a few out, like not just like 1 or 2. You get a whole stack, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I got Ed Brubaker's Batman run, the entirety, trade paperback form for $3 a book.
Yeah, that does remind me, for anybody who is interested, the Court of Owls Deluxe Edition was just on the solicitations for July. Should be coming out in September. So keep an eye out for that. I'm definitely putting that in my calendar so that way I can buy that one as well.
I think I'm going to have to do the same. I think that's going to be my first one, Clay. I want to get a good Court of Owls book, and yeah, I think you've sold me on that. So. But yeah, I don't know anything. We don't know anything about the characters, but from every other character that's been in Doom Patrol, I don't think I haven't enjoyed one. So
I'm sure they're going to be wacky. I'm sure they're going to be hilarious, and I'm sure they're going to be a great addition to the show.
And I'm sure Robot Man is going to have some hilarious comments about them. I'm just.
I cannot wait to hear Brendan Fraser's "What the fuck" again. Like I need to hear it. I know I can just go back to each season and listen to it again, but just hearing new ways he can say it is just amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He's easily my favorite character of that show. Okay, I guess we'll move on to some casting from Aquaman that was a week ago now, I want to say. Game of Thrones alumni, who was Euron Greyjoy. Oh, I hated him. He done a really great job, but I hate him. He's really good as a villain, so I wonder if that will be the role here. So he's going to join the cast of Aquaman too. Clay, did you watch Game of Thrones?
I have not. I have seen one episode of Game of Thrones, and that was the series finale. I saw how it ended.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like it's
so at the time I was living with my parents, and my stepdad had just had it on, and I had just gotten home from work, and I just saw a giant dragon, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And I knew what Game of Thrones was, but it just looked great, so I just like put all my stuff down and just started watching. And as soon as it finished, my stepdad just looks at me and he's like, "That sucked," and I was like, "Huh." I mean, looked pretty cool to me. I might check that out. And I have yet to check it out.
I'm not a diehard like ride or die Game of Thrones. I watched the whole series. I enjoyed it. I didn't think that season 8 was as terrible as everyone says. I enjoyed a lot of it. So I'm really interested. When I heard, I didn't know him by name until I went and saw the picture. I was like, oh my god. So I'm really interested who he could be. Is he going to be a famous DC character, or is he just going to be some pirate or something that Black Manta employs, or could he just be the first villain that Aquaman encounters at the start of the movie? So curious if he's going to have an extended role or not. Just
Yeah, there's really no information on him. Warner Brothers
no.
had no comment when it was announced. So I don't know. Like I'm really interested to see what direction Juan is going to be taking with Aquaman 2. You know, especially with these heavy rumors about Flashpoint legitimately changing things in the universe. You know, it would be no surprise to me that Aquaman and Wonder Woman are not touched whatsoever, because those are their pride and joys. Wonder Woman, as much as it's not like $1 billion movie, it is something that gets the general audience's attention. With Aquaman, Aquaman is legitimately $1 billion franchise, so they're going to keep Momoa no matter what.
And you know what? Casting him makes a lot of sense because Aquaman was a bigger hit overseas than it was.
Yeah.
Like, it was huge overseas. Like, it was only average, if not a little above average, here in North America. But this makes sense. Like, just getting more Game of Thrones actors. That's a worldwide show, so it's smart. Like you said, we don't know what role. It's just very interesting to me that this comes out. They deny it. They go the Marvel route, I guess, of denying it, even though it's true. And the other news that came out about Aquaman 2 is just Amber Heard, Patrick Wilson, and Momoa have all started training for the movie. They've all put out things saying they're getting their training on, Clay.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that I've recently seen was Amber Heard reading her books. She's very famous for reading on set. And Jason Momoa is very famous for throwing those books off of the set, ripping them apart, doing whatever. Now, he is a nice enough person to replace her books, but he is one to poke the bear, so to say. And it's just for teasing. It's just for like, hey, for me, I think it would be more of like, hey, you're working, stop reading. Like that's that was my, if I was Jason Momoa, that would be my reasoning. But I just saw a photo of her in a casting chair reading a book. That's the only thing really I've seen. But I know they're working hard to get into that mode. You know, it's one thing for me recently. We've had massive discussions on our group chat about DC moving forward, what's going on, and everything else. And like I've said before, I'm a DC guy, true and true. It's very conflicting thoughts, though, whenever it comes to what is going to happen with DC moving forward. And as of right now, I would love to see an outline, to see a plan, to see WB say, hey, this is what the DC universe looks like within the next 4 years. And they've kind of done that, but only with movie titles. They haven't said anything else. And that doesn't really excite me. The only thing that does excite me, though, and I will be 100% honest, is Aquaman 2, because I love Jason Momoa, and Black Adam, because The Rock just has so much enthusiasm about the movie. I think it's very genuine how he feels about the character. And the cast for that just is amazing as well.
That's a very interesting point, Clay, about DC in general. I know I haven't been as active with the chats the last little while with school, but just getting back into it now. But for me, honestly, I'm a little tired. Tired of just saying like I want this thing, like tired of my voice not really mattering. But I'm also really excited for other properties like the Batman. I couldn't be more excited for the Batman.
You know, and I told you earlier today that there was whispers of I'm very excited about the Batman. I'm super excited about Robert Pattinson donning the cape and cowl. I think it'll be an entirely different monster from what we have seen. That trailer says it all. But I did message you earlier, Travis, saying that there are rumblings of something about to be revealed. We don't know what it is. There's rumors of it being set photos. There's rumors of it being stills.
I went on a hunt,
Possibly,
and after you told me that, the best I could find was that it was going to be stills. But that's there's not from
I
any
would
sort of
love,
source.
yeah, I would love a Catwoman reveal, because we kind of got a suit, but it was more of like a uh, like before even year one. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna put this beanie and cut some holes into it, you know. Um, I'm really excited about that. But I told a friend of mine today because I just got home from watching Demon Slayer at Alamo Draft House. He's my host. He's the co-host for Batman News Weekly, and I said, "What if the news was Pattinson confirmed for the Flash?" Just because right now it's just very convenient that the Flash is now in production. I think that would be absolutely insane. I don't think it's going to happen, just because if anything, if they want to prove the multiverse is a thing, they'll show footage of what we saw in the trailer in the Flash movie in the Speed Force. I think that's the easiest way to go. But I don't think Pattinson himself will be in the film.
I don't even know if it'll be referenced, if I'm honest with you, Clay, with all the other worlds that it could pull from or show. It could, probably. It all depends, I think, on what you want to do with Pattinson. Because if the Bat is just a 3-movie off and he's not doing anything else, then you're just not going to tie that together. You're going to wait and try and transition after this story or sometime during the story. I don't know. Like I said earlier, I'm a little tired. I want to see more Snyder stuff as well as the rest, but I feel like it doesn't matter how much I say it lately. So I'm focused more on what we have going forward. Not to say I won't retweet or tweet any certain hashtag
100%. And that's what I got in a little discussion, not heated or anything. There were some Snyder fans. I don't know if you saw this recently, and I know people are hurting. People want to restore the Snyderverse. They want it to happen yesterday. They wanted it to happen the day before the Snyder Cut was released. We completely understand. And just like the Snyder Cut, if anything were to happen, it's going to take time. Do I personally think it's going to happen? After seeing everything that's been going down, I personally don't think so. And the reason why is if I was Snyder, I don't think I would want to do it. And that's just because the giant headache that is WB. He is able to go to a place like Netflix and legitimately do whatever he wants and have a huge, almost cult following, if not a cult following, bringing in subscribers to Netflix. So that's what he has for him. But like I have said already 3 times through and through on this podcast, I am a DC fan. So I'm going to watch DC content. Now, am I going to agree with 100% of those? No, most likely not. Now, I have said one of the big things for me is I have been wanting a Hispanic lead in a superhero film, like just overall, whether it be in Marvel, whether it be at DC, whatever. They're going to have a co-lead in the Eternals for Marvel, but for DC, we're going to see Sasha as Supergirl, and we're going to see a Blue Beetle soon enough. But for me, what worries me is the fact that those projects are so far away that they can either be cut or the actors themselves can just be wiped off,
changed. Yeah,
exactly.
DC does not have a good track record with in development.
They do not. So until I actually see set photos, it's really hard for me to be super excited about those characters.
Yeah, I understand so much there, Clay. But yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I'm a DC fan. I'm going to watch all of it, and even if I don't like it, Flash season 7, Flash season 6, Flash season. I'm going to go on to the next thing. I'm not going to give up on DC entirely. But boy, oh boy, is the Flash rough. Like the Flash.
Which reminds me,
rough.
might as well say it because this is a DC show. Superman and Lois' first 5 episodes are actually on HBO Max right now. So anybody who was waiting for the entire season, currently Superman and Lois is on hiatus due to Supergirl being on air.
Have you watched all 5 episodes?
I have seen all 5 episodes.
Next week, folks, next week we will do a review of the first 5 episodes in total. Because I haven't seen 3 of them, and I will watch them.
Cool. Yeah, no, I will rewatch those, especially it being on HBO Max means no commercials to fast forward through. So yeah, I will 100% be down for that. It's been a great show. It honestly has. It has some hiccups that I hope are either fixed or completely forgotten about. And there's stuff that I really want the show to elaborate on. So it's
that's great.
It's a breath of fresh air compared to what you guys are talking about with the Flash. I have
you're not. What did you end? When did you end with the Flash?
The last episode I legitimately saw of the Flash was Nora being erased from history.
Don't watch anymore. No, I'm legit serious. Don't watch it. I'll let you know if it changes.
Wait, you know what? No. That's not true. The last episode I saw of The Flash was the Flash episode of the crossover.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Just watch the crossover episodes of The Flash. That's all. Like, save yourself some heartache. Yeah, it's just, oh my God. But if anyone likes that, more power to you. That's something that they can enjoy. Me, I can go on to the Flash movie. If I want to watch that, I can go to different other things, read Flash comics. There's so many different things. There's a animated movie that's coming out with 2 Flashes in it.
Actually, hold the phone.
I watched a clip about that today.
It's the 26th.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So it's coming out tomorrow. Holy crap. I'm probably gonna buy that at midnight if it's possible. So
I'm probably gonna watch it tomorrow. I think so.
Yeah, I don't have too much to do tomorrow. I have, like I said, I have a lot of shows. I record 2 shows tomorrow. But after that, I am basically free after homework. So I think I'm gonna do it. Nice.
We will discuss what we both thought of that, because I'm definitely watching that tomorrow because like I said earlier, I was talking to Chris. We're going on a little bit of tangent here. I was talking to Chris about Invincible and whether I should read the comic or continue watching.
Is volume 1 the first volume I start to read?
Well, I'm not. I didn't buy the physical copies. Money's extremely tight, so let's just say I found my Invincible copies on back of a truck. So. I was just making sure I was starting in the right place, and amazing. But like,
it's a great series.
Yeah.
I started it a while back. I was on Joe. He has a podcast, the Comic Book Rundown. We covered the first volume. I started there. And I quickly ran through a lot. I had to stop just because I started getting busy again. I just recently started back up again. I'm like on issue 87, 90, one of those. And there's 144 issues. So there's a lot of content for the show to really drive on.
Yeah, I think I'm at a good place now where the first season isn't going to go over what I've read. They go further. Mm-hmm. So I think I should be okay. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I'm excited about JSA movie as well. I'm going to try and review that for superhero discussions as well. You'll get something from that. I guess the only other part of news before we take a break, The Rock is finally landed in Atlanta. He has a gym set up and he's training. And I read a little article from his trainer saying that they wanted this to be the first time ever that a superhero like wore a suit without any body padding at all in it. Like they designed a regimen. I guess they had to make his muscles pop.
Yeah.
But Rock, tell me that you're going over your lines a little bit too, please. Like instead of just working on your muscles. So
I'm very curious. Now, I made the joke about this. I can't remember who I was talking to, but I want him to have the same kind of like aura as he did in his very first appearance as the Scorpion King. I don't want the same CGI
no.
because the Mummy's CGI when you first see The Rock as the Scorpion King was absolutely horrendous. PlayStation 1 graphics. Horrible. But when you see that reveal, it shook me to my bones. Like it was like, holy crap, that's The Rock and he is a giant scorpion. I want that kind of reaction when I see The Rock in this film.
I have a question for you. Do you think that would you rather see The Rock like start out and then become Black Adam, or like see the origin first, or do you want a shot of him in the suit, like showing how badass he is in present day, then shift to the origin? Like, do you want to see like
I
Rock
want
without the powers first, or do you want to see him with the suit? Like,
I want to
I'm
see
curious.
I want to see how he gets the wizard Shazam to choose him as a champion, because there is a dark history there, and we got a little bit of it in Shazam. We got
Yeah,
the history lesson. You don't show us the history lesson just to not show us the history lesson, you know. So I really want to see him um, become Black Adam before I actually see him interact with like legitimate superheroes.
yeah, same. So I guess listeners, we'll take our first break of the night. We're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads, but we don't control the volume either. So I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to let you adjust your volume, and we'll be back shortly. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Clay. Before we go on to the next thing, uh, Snell saying The Rock is looking too big. Yep. Apparently, he needs to be muscle padding. His body needs to be muscle padding body.
You know, I would say the exact same thing if there is major different ways as far as art styles that I've seen Black Adam. I have seen him be kind of the tall, like broad shoulder individual that just looks like a leader, that looks like somebody who is ruling a place like Kondak. But then recently, he starts to look something like a Superman, something like a Shazam, and he is a little bit more bulkier. In the animated movies, Superman, Shazam versus Black Adam, he was humongous. Like he had muscles on top of muscles. Um, and I'm really curious on what suit they will choose for him, because there has been plenty of reiterations without a cape, and then there's been a big one that most recently we have seen with the hood and the cape to make it look more like the New 52. I genuinely like him without the cape, and I think The Rock would look better without a cape.
I think you're right about that. Actually, I was thinking like I like the costume better when it's a cape, but with The Rock, it would look better without a cape, I think.
Yeah. Now I can totally understand why they would like maybe use it as like a little Easter egg cameo or whatever, kind of like for the face reveal, or like for him, like when he's first getting the powers to have the cloak with the hood and everything. But I think he should keep the cape off just because I think it'll look a little bit better.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so going on past The Rock now into the next, the main topic of the night. Michael Keaton is now the worst kept secret in DC universe. Michael Keaton is now confirmed as his Batman's going to return in Flash. Well, they said Bruce Wayne in the article. I don't think that makes any difference really. But what do you think about this, Clay? This was announced before, but did this
Just
ratchet up your excitement at all, or are you just indifferent? Because I'm kind of I
no,
knew this already.
because I mean, just like how Snell was talking about in our group chat, it's been. Is he in it? Is he not in it? Is he in it? Is he not in it? Yes, he's in it. No, he's not. Yes, he is. And it's kind of just gotten like, okay, you can't be this indifferent about it and promote him in the concept art images at fandom. You just can't do that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, if this was something that you legitimately had in question for WB and DC to be like, hey, we're going to promote him, but maybe it won't happen. Like, that's horrible marketing. Like, because just imagine if his agent and Michael Keaton himself was like, hey, I just want you guys to know DC and WB did not talk to me whatsoever, and I'm not going to be a part of this movie. Like, that would be horrible. Like,
It'd be terrible.
And then you lose even more fans to your biggest IP. So this, like, I think it was a done deal when they showed that concept image. So I was like, okay, he's going to be a part of the movie. Now, for this being an actual confirmation, you're like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. I would like to get to, I know this is like the big topic, but the topic really surrounds the question that Snell actually brought to us earlier today. He asked us, how much screen time do we expect that Michael Keaton's Batman is going to have in Flash?
I think honestly, I think it depends on what their plans are for him going forward. If he's going to stay as like the man in the chair for Batwoman, a la Batgirl, a la Batman Begins, or is this a one-off? I think though, just the way they promoted him though, that he got to be in it for at least 20 minutes.
No, I genuinely think, and I'm not entirely sure if I would like it if it is like this. This is a Doc Brown to the Flash's Marty McFly. I think you will see him just as much as you see Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
I think that's a really good point, Clay. I never even thought about that. Oh my God, that's probably right.
Now, I'm not saying that Bruce is inventing time travel.
No,
I'm not saying that whatsoever. But what I am saying is the way they are promoting Michael Keaton's Batman as this like Nick Fury character or his mentor, which doesn't make any sense. How does somebody who doesn't have any superpowers know anything about the Speed Force? Makes no sense to me, but it's just what it is. And I don't see them. I think it is a pipe dream to think that a Batman Beyond movie is moving forward after this. I would love it. I would love to see Terry McGinnis in that slick all black suit. I would absolutely love it to see that in live action. But I think this is some way to this is WB's way of saying, hey, old time DC fans, for all of you people who want to see Superman catching cats out of trees, we'll give you a new one. We'll give you Michael Keaton's Batman back in modern times. I think that's easily what they're trying to do. It's turning a lot of heads. And if it works, it works. My question is, how much screen time do you expect Batfleck to have?
I think like I said, it depends on what they're doing going forward. I was seeing a lot of they're going to kill him or they're going to write him a good ending from this. But I also just saw today that Daniel RPK is saying that there's going to be more Batfleck after this Flash movie. So who knows? I don't know.
I have not seen that. That is news to me.
Yeah, that just came out today. Like that just came out literally probably an hour before we started recording.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to that.
Yeah.
Because
I would have said no. But that's
RPK. I will say this: RPK is good at giving out information. He does put his 2 cents into stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I've never seen him as a troll though, so I will say if he is legitimate with this, that can pique my interest. I'm not going to be excited. I'm not going to put hope into something that feels like it's going to be so far away from now. Because you're right. One of the biggest rumors is like, this is Batfleck's goodbye.
Yeah.
And what I have seen this Flash movie to be legitimately, in my eyes, is WB's way of saying, hey, how can we get rid of Ben Affleck and how can we get rid of Henry Cavill? And it's going to be way too obvious to erase just those two actors and basically prove that WB had a problem with those two moving forward and then keeping everybody else, you know? So, and I know this sounds like I'm like one of the biggest DCEU haters, but I'm just stating what I see from the outside looking in. If that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. I would love for Henry to still be Superman. I would love for Ben Affleck to be Batman still. If there is more Batfleck after this, I would be shocked. And that is because we now know Ben Affleck has 3 to 4 other projects that are currently on his own slate, which means as of right now, as far as DC projects, we only have 2022. We don't have anything going out to 2023 yet. We don't have any news going out that far. So for Ben Affleck working on 4 other projects, I wouldn't expect to see Batfleck for at least 2024.
Unless you move one of those other projects back, which is entirely possible.
It is, but it also, like, the projects aren't necessarily Ben Affleck's projects. They're other people's projects that Ben Affleck is a part of. So he may not have control over pushing those projects.
No, but if Warner wants more Batfleck, I'm sure they can figure out a way, money wise, to.
You say that, but they also wanted Superman, and they
forget that exact statement. Yeah.
They wanted Superman for the Jaws cut, and what did they do? They freaking used a paint eraser on his face.
I'm sorry, I've been watching a bit more Marvel lately, so like I'm used to like a steady ship where like, oh, you like this Falcon character and has become Captain America? You get a movie for that. Oh, you like this other thing? You get a show for that.
There's so many people that are upset about that.
Chris Evans, you get a movie for that.
I will say this. Recently, I did make a TikTok explaining why a DC Studios needs to exist with Deborah Snyder and Jim Lee at the helm. So if you want to go check that out, at Fanboy Clay on TikTok, just saying.
Nice.
But yeah, like I genuinely think that Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton being in the Flash movie, WB wants this to be this grand opening of like the new DCEU. I just feel it. I feel it. But as of right now, because of the way the DCEU legitimately feels like them throwing a whole bunch of stuff to the wall to see what sticks, there's no fluidity to it. It seems very random. And so people, like, this may be the next big movie, but people don't know about it because of how hectic DC looks on the big screen right now.
Yeah, the DC is public relations nightmare right now.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I have a twofold question for you about this. Do you think we'll see him in his OG suit, or do you think we could see him in that suit with some modifications?
For Keaton?
For Keaton, yeah, not Batfleck. Batfleck, I'm fairly confident.
I think if they are smart, you give the OG suit to begin with.
Yeah.
Now, they can do the OG suit for the entire thing, but I'm just going to tell you right now, if you look at Keaton back in the day and now look at Keaton, he is a lot thinner.
Yeah.
His chin is a lot older. It's not going to look as pleasant in that old suit.
Give me the Beyond suit, please.
You need something that is going to make him look appealing to the general audience and flashy enough to be, no pun intended, but to really wow an audience. Now, I don't think you can do a Kingdom Come suit where he's all like in the neck brace and everything else, because then you have to explain why he has something like that. You can put it to old age, but it doesn't really.
You haven't watched Batman Beyond, have you?
I have seen all of Batman Beyond.
Okay. Well, because of Batman the Animated Series, I'm not sure where.
Oh no, see,
I know you've seen it, but not.
I grew up on Superman, but every Saturday morning, and then of course at 4:00 in the afternoons after elementary school, I would watch Kids WB, and I would watch. Well, Batman Beyond was on Cartoon Network every Saturday morning. That's when I saw Batman Beyond.
It was on Kids WB for us here in Canada too for a little while.
Nice.
Yeah. But I would like to do like a first episode. You know how Bruce is a bit older, before he has to shoot the gun. But you go back 5 more years. But have him in that kind of suit where you can cover up his face, and then you can take it off with a big reveal. You don't have to put your chin in it. Then you can have somebody else in the suit so that you can do the fighting without having to try and match up the chin or anything. You can solve so many problems with that.
Here is the problem with that. The only way you can make that suit. And WB, you better be listening to DC Alliance right now. The only way you can make the Beyond suit is if you make it like the Deadpool suit. You have to animate the eyes. You have to make it CG. If you make a Batman Beyond suit like you do every other Batman costume, it makes no sense. You can't put eye holes in that suit. It needs to be white eyes that are animated.
Lenses. So you have red lenses go down at certain points for scanning. Like you just got to, like you said, you got to take it seriously. But I think they will. I don't think Keaton never signs on to a role that he doesn't like. He isn't fully confident in. And
but I don't
think he would come back with that plan.
I think Keaton, for the most part, though, and he if he can prove me wrong, and I'm not saying that he has to. I'm not entitled in that way. But I'm saying I think Keaton only cares about his Batman. Now, of course, he can do the PR stunt and say, oh, yeah, I love Ben Affleck. I love him as Batman. Oh, I love Clooney as Batman. Oh, I love Val Kilmer as Batman. But he definitely feels like somebody who would just know him as Batman. And and so he's not going to know what the Batman Beyond suit is. He's not going to know these other comic book accurate stuff. He's going to know his suit. And if they give him something new, he'll be like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll wear it.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to do that. But I think you should do what you said first. Like show him in the OG suit first, then show him in the, like you could show what happens to him in between. Like just show a couple little clips of him between returns to that. And
I say show him in the suit first. If they don't show him in the suit first, you at least have to show that the old suit is in the Batcave.
Yeah, that's the other thing that works. If you go across, but you have his suit there, you pan on it for a minute, for 20 seconds, then you go on to the Beyond suit. That's probably the way to go. I think that would be best. But I'm really excited. I'm glad Keaton's cast. We kind of knew it. We discussed this when it was breaking on a special 0.5. So we're even more excited. And the other part of this, Clay, the Flash got a new logo. What do you think about the new logo for Flash?
It's a Flash logo.
Yeah.
I think the bigger argument is the new score for his theme. Yeah. I saw a lot of discussions that really made me laugh. They're like, "Oh, this feels very much like the CW Flash. Oh, this very much feels like, this, that, or the other." Some people said it sounds like Spider-Man PS4 theme. I would not be against them treating the Flash theme exactly how they treat the Batman theme. Now, if you go to, I believe it was DC TV Squadcast.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long it was, but Ray did an interview for the composer of the Harley Quinn show.
Yeah.
He made his own Batman theme in that show, and he explains that there's like a motif that every single composer uses when creating a Batman theme. Now, if you use that kind of thinking when it comes to the Flash, because it does sound very similar to the Flash TV series.
Yeah.
If you keep that motif with a little bit of flux on reverb, or adding a little bit more of a guitar or whatever, but still have that kind of same sound for now into whenever, I'm okay with it, because then people can hear that and immediately think, oh, that's the Flash. It gives something the general audience can recognize for a character.
It distinguishes it from the movie, the Zack Snyder's Justice League, whether or not they're trying to pick up from that. If he time traveled or not, I'll be really interested about that. But the logo, I like it. I like the logo. I'm indifferent on the music, but it's only 10-second clips, so when I hear the full thing, I will get more excited or have better judgment. But the logo, I thought the logo, like you said, it's a Flash logo. It's something a little bit different than the other one, because Machete wants to put a spin on it, and I'm all for it. You can't preach creator freedom and then get on up in arms about a Flash logo or theme song.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take our final ad break of the night. Listeners, we are an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads that come on. I hope you guys get to win these ones, because I love when these ones that make me immediately drive there. We're going to give you a quick 3 count so you can adjust the volume, and we'll be back shortly. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Clay. Last of the show, and stealing, borrowing, whatever we want to call it. We're taking a page from this was your idea.
It was, and I will say it's not stealing, it's not borrowing, because there's plenty of people that have book reading clubs, and of course, just like Marvel Alliance, we will have a comic book club. We're going to call it the Comics Corner over here. We're going to choose 4 titles. We're going to set them out to be voted on the DC Alliance Twitter account. And you guys will vote on the series that we will be talking about. We wanted to make it a short series. We didn't, because DC in the past has had series that run for 100 issues. We don't want to do anything like that. We want to give you guys variety, and in order to do that, we need to pick mini series, maxi series. 12 issues will probably be the max when it comes to choosing these titles. I chose 2. Travis has chose 2. We're going to go ahead and show those to you now, or at least say them out loud. And then, like I said, we'll have you vote over them for the next week. We will choose the winner on the next week's show. So I think we should do 1-1 and then 1-1.
Okay.
I will go first. Like I said, I am a DC kid through and through. And just like our fellow podcaster at the Marvel Alliance podcast, one of my favorite heroes, he is tied for either 2 or 3 technically, will be my boy Superboy. There is a great series back from 2010, written by Jeff Lemire. It's going to be I think this is 12 issues technically, maybe 10 issues. Let me just double check here. It does have 11 issues actually. So if you guys vote for this one, I will not be mad whatsoever. Superboy, like I said, is either tied for my second or third favorite character. It can change on any given day. My top 3 for sure are Superman, Nightwing, and Superboy.
Oh, nice. Fun fact, anytime anyone ever says Superboy out loud, Brent smiles. So you just made Brent smile at least 4 times. So That's pretty good. I went a little different than Clay. I kind of mixed it up. I hauled a couple out of my comic pile. This first one's a 6-issue miniseries that Jimmy Palmotini did. Harley Quinn and Power Girl. So
I have actually not read that one. I have heard a lot of different things about it. It's like one of the first series that got Harley Quinn into her like being a vigilante / good guy. So I'm pretty excited if that one ends up being the chosen one.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get. Actually, there's no point to show that right now. But yeah, that's. I'm super excited. I haven't even read that yet, so I have it here. I hadn't had a chance to read it yet.
My number 2 pick. This one is a little bit of a newer series. I have read it once before. It wowed me. It is a little bit of a what if series. In the DC universe, they are known as Elseworlds. This Elseworld story is called Nightwing: The New Order.
Ooh,
yeah. This one came out, I believe, in 2017, so it's already 4 years old. Holy crap! But it is written by Kyle Higgins.
Oh, nice.
Kyle Higgins knows Nightwing. This was a very, very fun series. And like I said, a very fun Elseworld story.
I kind of want that to win. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be pulling from this. I have a few books in this little vein, I guess we'll say. I wanted to pick Batman and the Man from U.N.C.L.E., but I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I went Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77.
Those can be very, very fun. The only one that I've read in that vein is Batman 66 and the Green Hornet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the only one I've read out of those. I have not had the chance to read the Batman Wonder Woman one, though, so that'll be fun.
And it's pretty cool. Wonder Woman's using her bracelets. Batman got a bat heels.
Yeah.
It's just great. Yeah, so those are the 4 choices. We'll put those out tomorrow in a tweet from the show account, and then we'll give it time, 6 days. You'll vote on it, and we'll reveal the choice here, and then the following week we'll review the book.
Very awesome.
Awesome. So that's great. Special shout out and thanks to Marvel Alliance. You know how it is now. Just taking and moving. Clay, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, first one in the can, first of many. It's going to be so much fun. I'm really excited. Now that I have things to do throughout the week, I have to catch the rewatch of Superman and Lois. And then while we were recording, I actually pre-ordered the Justice Society World War II, so that it'll immediately become available when it releases. So I will watch that tomorrow as well. Looking forward to who wins the vote. Not going to sway any other way, but vote Nightwing.
Batman 66.
So
we vote Nightwing. How about I read
it? But yeah, I think that's going to be it. Of course, guys, go check out all the other shows on the network. These guys and gals work very, very hard at what they do. I will say Nathan and Katie got me hooked on some Star Wars Legends books. I'm reading all about Lord Bane, Darth Bane right now, listening to some audio dramas. So yeah, go listen to all of their content. Of course, you can always find me at Fanboy Clay on Twitter. I will not say all my shows again. I have a link tree on my bio that you can go check all those out. But yeah.
So Clay, great first episode. Well, great official first episode. You've been on multiple. Exciting going forward. We're going to have a lot of things with DC. I can't wait. And as for me, you can find me on Twitter at Travis_156. You can drop me a line. We can chat about DC anytime. DC Alliance on Twitter. Find show handle. Get in touch with us that way. We go live Monday nights on the Geekverse YouTube channel every week. Thanks everyone. Join us, Clay. Thanks again. And this is going to be so much fun. Vote Batman 66. And I will see you everyone next week.
See ya.
Later, everyone.